We are living through a unique cultural moment. The average person is casually fluent in clinical terms like triggers, boundaries, and attachment styles. This shared vocabulary has given us incredible insight. In mental health, insight is essentially a map, a detailed, accurate layout of exactly how your own mind works. But holding a map doesn't prevent high-functioning burnout. You can know exactly what your triggers are and still experience a sudden emotional collapse over a task as simple as loading the dishwasher. This gap between knowing and feeling is the insight trap. It is the assumption that being able to intellectually articulate a mental health problem is the same thing as fixing it. Gaining massive amounts of self-awareness without clinical intervention fails to resolve the underlying pain. It creates a vacuum where you observe your own suffering with a more sophisticated vocabulary. To understand why our brains betray us, we must look at the somatic disconnect, the physical gap between what we logically know and how our bodies react to stress. Cognitive processing happens up top, inside the brain, but your survival responses live entirely separate, deeply embedded in the central nervous system. Crying over the dishwasher signals the nervous system has reached physical overload. At this threshold, the body's alarm overrides the logical map. This disconnect drives our daily behavior too. People-pleasing functions as an evolutionary survival strategy, a physical fawning response triggered to minimize conflict and ensure safety through compliance. Because these adaptations successfully protected you in the past, your brain fiercely defends them. It locks these patterns into your biology, making them highly resistant to being talked out of existence by simple logic. Since logic cannot disable an evolutionary alarm bell, intellectual self-analysis remains biologically insufficient for true behavioral change. Attempting to analyze a survival reflex often leaves the physical body untouched. Because the logical brain lacks a direct override switch for these ancient reflexes, intellectual labels alone cannot reach the deep-seated tension of a trauma response. Safely bypassing those neurological defenses requires skilled somatic and relational intervention, where a clinician helps you process emotional reactions physically and interactively. Through guided clinical practice, you can rewire these stubborn physical patterns. You are training the body to recognize safety in real time, rather than just theorizing about it. As the body learns to regulate, traits long thought to be permanent begin to move. Even rigid attachment styles shift and stabilize through this dedicated, repeated practice. Insight only identifies what is happening. Active clinical healing physically changes what is happening. Moving toward measurable healing means shifting from solitary study to active clinical practice. Coping and Healing Counseling, or CHC, provides the specific, structured environment designed for this somatic and relational work. CHC operates a 100% telehealth model, serving all 159 counties across Georgia. This model removes the traditional friction of seeking help. CHC accepts Georgia Medicaid with a $0 copay, works with most major commercial insurance providers, and typically offers same or next-day scheduling. Their team of LCSWs, LPCs, and LMFTs provides culturally competent care for individuals, couples, and teens, ensuring the clinical support matches the specific needs of a diverse patient base. If insight is the map to your struggles, therapy is the vehicle that moves you toward a different life. That map is already in your hand, likely on the very device you're using right now. Change begins the moment you use your phone to contact CHC, and transition from understanding your history to actively reworking your future.